Hi everyone and welcome to my thank card. It's Friday. Today we'll be doing another watercolouring technique. We're not going to use the actual crayons this time. Today I'm going to show you how to achieve the same watercolouring technique but using just your inks. Okay, so we're going to start off using the En Francais background and we're going to colour that in with Daffodil Delight. So just inking that up nice and softly. I don't really need a heavy coat because it is just going to be a background to my cardstock. Sticking copy paper down. Just pressing that lightly. I don't want it to be too prominent. So, okay, so grabbing my Daffodil Delight sponge. I'm going to sponge the edges, but I'm actually going to bring the ink in. So this is a watercolouring paper and it's actually quite thicker than normal cardstock, and it's actually got like a vanilla type neutral look to it. So it's not like a Whisper White where it's quite bright. The watercolour paper is a nice neutral type colour. So bringing that in, that ink, and to create an edging to that, I'm going to grab Peach Parfait and a sponge, my orange sponge, and I'm just going to slightly sponge the edges, just slightly, so it just makes the Daffodil Delight pop. Just slightly like that, okay? So I think it creates a nice worn type look, but we're using bright colours with an aging type look. Okay, so grabbing your Pear Pizzazz, we're going to stamp the image in Pear Pizzazz. Now, before we stamp it, just to get that watercolouring look, we're going to spray it. Grabbing my copy paper, just a fine mist over the top. Grabbing my image. Now you have to press firmly on the watercolour cardstock because it is quite a thicker cardstock. It takes a little bit longer to absorb the water, and the cardstock is quite a forgiving cardstock, and you can use it for layers, and that's why we use the watercolouring paper for this type of technique. Alright, so that's that stem. Now, so grabbing my Daffodil Delight ink and my Stamp-A-Majig, I'm going to line the flower from the Field of Flowers stamp set, and the solid image. This is a great two-step stamping set, and it's great for watercolouring because you can use the watercolouring on the solid image, and then for the defined image you can use just an ink, and you don't need to watercolour it that much to get that outline. Alright, so let's use the solid image, and I'm going to ink that up with Daffodil Delight. Lining up my Stamp-A-Majig, pulling the imaging sheet away, making sure that Daffodil Delight is nice and juicy, and just pressing it down for a little bit longer for the cardstock to absorb. Alright, so that's fairly light, but it is just a background. Now I'm going to do that again, but this time I'm going to heavily water the actual stamped image. Alright. Now inking that again with my Daffodil Delight. Grabbing my paper and just spraying that about 3 times. And then stamping that image straight down. and then you can see how watery that actually looks. Alright, so I'm going to do the same for the stem while I'm letting that dry. So I'm using the solid image, which is that one there. Oh, sorry, for the little bud I'm doing it for this time. Okay, grabbing the more solid of the buds. Oh, actually I moved that. I saw that move on the box, so I won't need that. I'm just going to guesstimate this time. Alright. Now, so I'm going to do that again, and I'm going to spray it this time with water. So inking that up. That's fairly juicy. I'm going to line that up again. There we go. So that is that watercolor look. Now I'm going to create a definition. So I'm going to heat set that just to move the process a little bit quicker. Okay, so that's been blasted with the heat gun. I'm going to put the next layer on, and that's going to be the outline, the defined stamp set. Okay, so grabbing my Stamp-O-Majig, lining that up to where it needs to match. Okay, so grabbing the outline with the pumpkin pie, now spraying that just a little bit because I still want that defined image outline. And there you go. Isn't that such a beautiful stamp? Alright, now I'm going to do the same with the bud. Lining that up. Grabbing pumpkin pie. Spraying that. And grabbing that. Now, isn't that beautiful? Such a pretty stamp set. Okay, so we've got the main portion of the card done. So now it's just sticking them, all the bits together. Before I do that, I wanted to pop this image a little bit more. Since we're using watercolour, and we might as well take advantage of adding layers. So I've got my Smooch Spritz spray here. And this is in the Stampin' Up! Catalogue. It is such a beautiful colour. It's like a golden daffodil colour. Okay, just grabbing my copy paper again, shaking that up, just mixing the mixture up well. Okay, and then I just wanted to spritz just to add a shimmer. Just getting the spray right. And just spraying that like that, so it adds another shimmer layer. So I'm going to hit that with the heat gun again just to speed the process up. Alright, so that's been heated up, and you can see the splotches have become prominent, and quite the gold flecks through the actual splotches really stand out, and it's so beautiful. I don't know if you can see it well with this camera. I'll try and bring it closer. But it's just so shimmery and such a pretty card now. It's just made it pop. So I'm still going to stamp a sentiment, and I'm going to use, well, I'm thinking of using With Love, but I do like My Thoughts Are Happiest When You're in Them. But I'm just thinking it probably won't fit that way. Or, oh, I like that one, My Thoughts Are Happiest When You're in Them. So I'm just going to mount that on my block. I'm going to stamp it in Pumpkin Pie because it is a darker colour and I do want it to stand out. And I'm going to stamp it just here. My thoughts are happiest when you're in them. Isn't that such a pretty sentiment? Okay, so I'm going to mount it on Peach Parfait Designer Series paper, and then I'm going to mount it on Peach Parfait cardstock. Now I do feel that needs a little bit more, like a bow or some ribbon, so I'm going to just hunt down a couple of pieces of ribbon in my stash. Alright, so all I've done is added some Calypso coral ribbon. This was free in the celebration pack earlier this year, and I still got heaps left. So I thought I'd just wrap that around 3 times around the bottom, and then just a little knot right there. So I'm going to use my dimensionals to pop this up. You can see my other attempt. Hang on, I wrapped it around the wrong way. No, got it right. This is my first attempt, as you can see. Alright, so just... Now the reason why I had my first attempt is I didn't have it recording while I started it, so it's halfway through and I realised the record button wasn't on. Alright, so just mounting that on the Designer Series paper, and then adhering that down using my snail. Centering that on the cardstock. Alright, so that's just another great way to use your watercolouring to create a watercolour image with your inks. So you don't have to use your crayons. You can also achieve this same kind of watercolouring technique, or close to, by just spritzing your image just with a little bit of water on the ink. And it does help when you have beautiful stamp sets like this Field of Flowers to use. So yeah, it does help. So thank you very much for watching my Thank Card It's Friday, and watching another technique where you can achieve the same kind of look of a watercolouring. Make sure you use the watercolouring paper because it does allow for layers and layers of inks and water and spray. So yes, hope you enjoy that Thank Card It's Friday, and look forward to seeing you again on next week.